Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be bringing you the guide to clear Spiral Abyss floor 12 easily, as I think that this patch Abyss rotation is considered to be one of the easiest Abyss by far. The biggest issue here in 2.3 Spiral Abyss is how mobile all the refunds are. Not only they can move really fast, but they can also blink from your blind spots, giving you the Corrosion debuff, which drains all your party members' HP. So the easiest solution is either to bait them to one spot and deal damage to them altogether to save time, or locking them in place. First, I want to talk about team buildings. There are several ways to build your teams, such as freezecom, where you can keep freezing the enemies and prevent them from actually attacking you, hence preventing you from getting the Corrosion debuff. Another is by using Zhongli team, where you can spam your meteor and lock the enemies in place, giving you a DPS window to deal huge damage while they are stacking together. Both of these are the examples on how you can actually build your teams. For this guide, I'll use eula as the main DPS for the first phase and Raiden on the second phase. Note that in the first phase, the monster you'll be facing mostly are the Electro Refunds, and these Refunds are already mobile enough without them entering the Elemental Devourer state, or basically just an aggressive state, because once they enter the Devourer state, they'll be even more agile, and it will just give you an even harder time to group them together. Same goes for the second phase, where you'll be facing Geo Refunds. I pick Raiden as my main DPS as Raiden can easily deal huge burst damage and has a huge attack range. For healer on both teams, you can use any of the healers that you prefer. For the first phase, I picked Iona, as Iona not only can she generate shield that gives me more stability, but she is also a great cryo battery for eula. For the second team, I picked Bennett, because I want to maximize my Raiden's Q damage, and also Bennett can heal pretty fast. I built my Bennett with HP Sands and HP Circlets, and at 34k HP, he can already heal around 5.4k to 5.9k per tick at level 13 Q talent. Xingqiu and Sara are also great supports for Raiden to deal even more damage by boosting her attacks and crit damage, but also additional DPS on Xingqiu's sword. In the first chamber, you can notice that the smaller hoons will keep chasing you wherever you go. You can use this as an advantage by sticking around one of them, and the other will just come directly at you. When that happens, you can switch to your DPS and start killing them.
I condemn you.
As soon as you kill those 3 refunds, 2 large refunds will spawn side by side and they will start attacking you directly. There is something that I noticed when fighting these large refunds, is that whenever it jumps backward, there is a small invisible block which prevents you from moving forward. The good news is, you can use this to know the timing when those refunds will charge forward. The bad thing is, if this refund decides to jump backwards while you are casting your ults, this might cause your attack to miss. The same goes for the large refunds. They will try to chase you when you make some distance between you and them, usually by teleporting or charging at you. Use this to your advantage to bait them to stick together. The same goes for the second half. The only difference here is that on the second part, instead of summoning 2 large Geo refunds, there will be 2 small ones and 1 large one instead. Try to focus your DPS on the large one, since I noticed that the small refunds tend to be more aggressive than the large ones when they are chasing you. You can use this to your advantage to make them stick together and deal your DPS.
Shine down. Rain outlines your fate. Adventures, everybody stand back. Witness the power of Gugwa. Glory to the Shogun. There is no escape. Shine down.
Chamber 2 is relatively easy. In the first half, you'll be facing 2 Jovi Sheps. You can just time your dodge or bring a shield character like Zhongli or Diana to give your party more stability against interruptions. In the second half, you'll be facing 3 Magukenkis. The first thing you want to do is to run straight at the normal Magukenki as soon as you start. I noticed a pattern here in the second half, and that is, the Anemo Magukenki will activate his Flowing Water skill, which sends out 2 Anemo slashes at you, and the Cryo Magukenki will activate his Shadow Rush and charges at the direction he's facing. You might waste a lot of time if you attack them one by one, so you need to group them together. I noticed that if you are sticking beside the normal Magukenki, the Anemo and Cryo Magukenki will eventually come towards you, whereas if you stand beside the Inimo or Koimakenki, they will not come towards you as fast as when you are standing beside the normal Makukenki. And unlike the Makukenkis in the previous event, where you have to kill them together, this Makukenki doesn't need to be killed together, so you don't need to worry about the other Makukenki respawning. The first half of Chamber 3 will start by spawning one Ruin Sentinel and one Ruin Defender. Ruin Defender will tend to jump towards where you stand, so you might want to make sure that as soon as you start, you wanna run towards where the Ruin Sentinel is standing, since Ruin Sentinel doesn't move that much.
Vengeance will be mine.
Also keep in mind that Ruin Sentinel have a chance to jump back if you hit it, so you might want to make sure that when it jumps back, it jumps to a location that you want it. The ideal location is even when it jumps back, it will still be within the range of your AoE skills, or still within the vicinity of other enemies.
Burst forth, witness my great undertaking.
After you kill the two of them, the first half will summon two more large Electro Reef Hounds, and you can use the same tactics to kill these two. This is why I said earlier that not bringing any Electro characters on the first half will really help you to clear this easier. Since the first chamber and third chamber have Electro Hounds, bringing any Electro characters will just make them more aggressive and run around all over the place.
Live! Feel its ancient power.
Crush. Beg for mercy. Vengeance will be mine.
The second half starts by spawning two small Geo Reef Hounds and one large Geo Reef Hounds. Again, you can use the same tactics as the first chamber, where you just need to chase the large Geo Reef Hounds and focus your DPS on it. And the small ones will eventually run towards you, making it easier for you to group them together.
Illusion shattered. Everybody stand! Rain cutter. Now you shall perish.
And the second part for the second half will just summon two Ruin Guards, and there's nothing really special about them.
I'm going in. Witness the power of storm the front. There is no escape. Torn.
That's it for this video's guide. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want more contents like this. I'll see you next time.
A frozen night, but everyone's moving out. We all need time, but there's no way to slow